we've got a bunch of cams that we can go through and see what sort of ranking we're looking at. There's been a fair few additions from the team of the season. The Path to Glory, it's been a little bit light on its feet. We've only had 2 new cards that I'd personally consider a cam. When you kind of look through them, you've got De Jong. You could definitely play him in that. You whack a Hunter on him, you're absolutely golden. But I would probably say more box to box. Same with like Sabitzer, Pedri, definitely more box to box. So there is only so many that you can go for. I think Olmo's the great shout for it. I don't even know if he's Olmo. Where is he? He's in the Europe, of course, he's at the bottom. So he's 135, obviously coming in with his cam, 95 rated, which is phenomenal. So with them, they have got the big upgrade possibilities, and Spain, most definitely. We should be able to see 1 win from them, which would make him a 96 at a minimum. We could then get an extra playstyle plus, which could make this card even better. And in terms of stats, we're looking at a pretty decent level now. Most of the team of the seasons will have a 90-something pace, 90-something shooting, 90 and above passing, and to be fair, his dribbling is better than most at 98, and then some will have physicality, some won't. That's kind of like the basic stats now, and then it's all about the playstyle pluses. If you're looking for coins to improve your team, head over to lootbar.gg for the most reliable and also the best coins around. Also, they have incredible 24-hour manual customer service that you physically cannot find anywhere else. But before finishing on lootbar.gg, make sure you are using JT11 to get 8% off coupon. Once you've gone through the payment, you'll be able to get your coins within the next 24 hours, absolutely guaranteed. Also, with the code, you'll be able to get 5% more coins on every transaction. Make sure you do click the link either in the description or down in the comment section below. And it will all depend on how you play as a cam. Do you play them as almost a striker, kind of like a centre forward role? Are they more of an assister, like a kind of Kevin De Bruyne? That's when it goes down to your preference type and how you play versus then the playstyle plus you want. Obviously, I personally like incisive pass. If there is a shooting one, a finesse, just from outside the box, I'll absolutely take it. Technical seems to be a decent one. Quick step rapid will always be substitutes there. You could even throw in something like a relentless to keep them going up and down the pitch. It all goes depending on what you're looking for. So if I was looking at someone like an Olmo, I'd put him up there, to be fair. I think as a brand new card, he definitely solidifies himself as a decent level. When it comes to Hagi, who's the other one, I think he's a phenomenal player that has got so much possibility on this game if he was managing to go up. Whether they get the 2 goals in Romania, it's going to be the big one, but hopefully they do, making him a 96. If they were possible to get the 4 goals, that would be even more incredible. Because he's got the finesse, he's got himself the incisive. The dead ball is enough if you haven't got one already. If you like your free kicks, it's going to be a decent style to have. But I would personally like to see another upgrade, especially he's already 5'5" as well. I never really rated the 91 heavily. I thought it was okay, but there was a lot of people that really liked this card. I personally think the 95 is now coming in at such a better value. A little bit expensive, but you can imagine if they don't get if they go the first game and they don't get any goals, then more than likely that drops massively, with a chance of a pickup then, because if they do manage to score, then you're even in your money there. When it comes to the rest of them, we've got a few of the other heroes in there. I still think Schneider's probably at the top. The 5'5" on him, the dribbling, the absolute play from him has been incredible. He will be a great addition. I was surprised he didn't get anything for the Euros, to be honest. He's still 617. With all of the hero player picks, with all of the upgrades that we've had across the board, to say that he's still over 500,000 is absolutely a testament to the card himself. Brilliant, brilliant card. When we look at like the Abide Pele now, the Rui Costa, they're down on their luck, unfortunately. Abide Pele is crying for an upgrade. He obviously got himself one with the UCL Heroes, which for the time was very good. He got a lovely upgrade, and he's been one of them ones that really hits them high rateds, but it's going to be footies now. Maybe we see like a left wing, a striker version for Shapeshifter if they do that after the Euros. But right now, the Rapid Plus, unfortunately, is just not going to give enough for me. We've got 10 ton of icons that are still up there, and I thought I saw Zico twice then. You've obviously got the Ronaldinhos. It's quite an easy one. Pele, it's quite an easy one. Even Zico, I'd definitely go up there, and obviously Zidane. They are, without a question, always in that S+. No matter the version, they tend to get up there no matter what. Like, you could always have... To be fair, I think Pele's base would stay up there. Maybe Zico, Zidane and Ronaldinho's bases might hit that S category now. It'd be an interesting one to see. I think Ronaldinho, he did come out of my team. I absolutely love him. My favourite player on the game. His base version, unfortunately, has passed it, especially with the upgrades that we have got. You just look at a Vinny and Neymar, even some of the evolutions, they definitely take over, unfortunately. We've obviously got Kaka, in fact, another one. And to be fair, Bobby Charlton as well. There's, like I said, icon-wise, cams have been exquisite for the icons. Now we've obviously got Baggio from a very previous promo. He, again, was a little bit expensive in my eyes. I thought he was a good card, but the market that he actually was at, I don't know, does it show you? Okay, it does. So we're looking at 620. I thought for the time that we actually got him, I didn't think he was worth it, especially with all of the other SBCs. This is the problem, that we do forget how many SBCs we get, and around that time, there was just far too many. And I think, Ronaldinho was a bit after, was it after Future Stars? It might have been. I can't even remember the full extent, but I know there was a big one around Future Stars as well. But if I was looking at him now, I'm thinking ping pass technical. I'd put him above Rui Costa, but I wouldn't necessarily go into the S. Bergkamp, unfortunately for me, and some people may disagree, might be your favourite player, and that's absolutely fine. The big thing whenever I'm doing any of these is, I'm not saying that they are totally useless, because I reckon, well, it proved with, like, Harry Hesketh. He could go use a bronze team and go 20-0. Like, that tells you that you can always make someone better. The kind of point of this is showing you who the most meta is in terms of a price. Like, that's always going to be a big factor. It's the whole point of a market. But also the cheaper beasts. Like, whenever we talk about strikers, you're looking at the argument between like a Sorloth and a Drogba. You've got one that's like, what, 40, 50,000 coins, one that's 800. Now, I do argue that Drogba is better, but Sorloth isn't that further away. When you look at kind of cams, you look at the difference between the 96 Royce and the 95 Royce. There isn't much difference, but the price is absolutely huge on him. So you would argue that the 96 has to be better. He is definitely up there in a top category. But is he better by that marginal amount of like 500 extra thousand coins compared to the normal 95? So you can still use Bergkamp and still get a good result, but he's definitely not going to be the choice I would recommend to go for. Then we've obviously got Rivaldo and Socrates. I love both of these. I think these are incredible icons. Obviously, when it comes to Rivaldo, he has got himself a beautiful 97, which I've kept at the left wing purely on the fact that I just prefer him there. As the Cam Future Star, I think he's great. Socrates or Socrates is exactly the same. They're at that level where I'm like, okay, that's a great card, but one more upgrade for, say, Socrates would take him again to that next level. We've also got a few of the lower heroes from the Galazzo. I'd say Okocha still puts himself at the S. Nikata, he was kind of like Baggio, except for the SBC price was phenomenal value. Rosicki, I didn't like him at all. And it's funny because I don't know how they actually make anybody like him good, because he was a good card in terms of rating, price, all of that. But he still was just awful. Like, in-game, he just had no response. And stat-wise, like, I'm like, they're all decent. Like, you go with a Hunter on him, say, to get more shooting. So you got the 99 pace, fantastic. Like, max out, you can't do any better. You've got the 93 shooting, I'd say that's reasonable. 92 passing, very reasonable. 95 dribbling as well. I don't understand how he can be so clunky and so rubbish and yet have them stats. And yes, you'd look at body type, he is average and lean. That shouldn't be the big factor on this card. He is a 4-5 as well, so you'd even argue that maybe a 5-5 would make him a little bit better. I really didn't rate him at all. We then move into some of the team of the seasons now. Now, obviously, Messi has got to go to the top. You could argue striker, wing, cam, wherever you want to put him in that attacking force. He's outstanding, like genuinely outstanding. We move into a few of the others. If we've kind of got like Neymar, I'd go into the S for the 92. We're looking at now the moments. That's going to be definitely up there in the highest regards. But I do think with Neymar, the main thing that really gets him is just having that That body type, the dribbling on him is one of my favourites in the game by an absolute landslide. You see it with Ronaldinho, and you're now starting to see it heavily with a Vinny Jr. Their dribbling is just what really, really makes the card just pop. So we get back to the Reus debate as well. You've got the 96 or the 95. Now, in terms of pricing between them, I want to say the end of an era was coming in at about 900, yeah, 950, and then we've got the 95 coming in at 200. Now, in terms of differences, the main ones, playstyle pluses, and then a 1 increase on everything. So you're looking at what, like a 700k difference. Granted, you've always got to throw a little bit of respect for the SBC fodder rather than actual price. But to be fair, I don't think 200k really is that much of a price anymore. He didn't get the 5.5, which is a bit unfortunate. And his playstyle pluses are considerably better. Technical Trivela finesse is a lot better. You could argue technical versus the quick step is around the same sort of rating. The incisive, if you wanted more of a passing cam, then yeah, that's going to be pretty good as well. But then the chip shot does not go against a Trivela or a finesse by any shadow of imagination. So I do think with the 96 Reus, it is catered towards more of a striking Reus rather than the 95 that is more of a passing Reus. So you've got your two options there, to be honest. You can have both if you really want. But in terms of the SBC, I think it's a good card, and both of them, I would say personally, are more sitting into the S. I personally preferred Wirtz in my opinion. I thought Wirtz was absolutely phenomenal. He has been the best cam from the Bundesliga in comparison to your Xavi Simons, your Musiala, wherever they are. They've got to be somewhere. Musiala, arguably with Musiala, we'll have a look at him in a second if I can find Xavi Simons. Simons, another great one. When it comes to his in-game, I think he's definitely up there, but I mean, he's kind of just lacking in that final third. He's 106,000. I don't think I'd take him over most of the S sort of players. It's where I think potentially Okocha could be brought down now, just because he has got the 5.5, and I realised every time I always type in JJ and it doesn't pop up. But when you look at the 90 version of him, he is a 5.5. Stat-wise is good for the Galazzo, but when we really look at the card now, is he really still an S value? I think maybe if you was to go with the Incisive Passmaster, then potentially you're looking at it. It's a nice upgrade. It's kind of really put him back on the map, but you are then warranted to spend more coins. So I try and not do the evolutions because there's so many paths that you can go for. It is absolutely crazy. Whereas when it comes to Musiala, he is definitely dropping down in value now. He's 246. He has got the 5.4 instead, and I do think the stats are definitely up there. But in terms of the S+, I'd probably take everybody else over him personally. One that I personally really like is Foden. The left stick on him has been absolutely insane. Bellingham can throw himself in the hat. I don't think there's many arguments there. He is just incredible. I normally go with a box-to-box with him, but I must admit you can put him at cam and it's still absolutely rock the shop down. With everybody else, you've obviously got KDB. Now, with De Bruyne, I definitely think he's less meta this year. Now, the arguments are always that he can definitely change a game no matter what. Like, he's 760,000. The passing on him is absolutely exquisite. The 96 is still incredible value at 750 as well. So, you could argue that he maybe isn't as meta, but I do think he still has a complete shout to be in that top category. Now, when we do see like a 99 version of him or a 98, if he does anything in the Euros, it's going to be a big shout. But De Bruyne has always been a legendary card within the game, and the body type, everything works well for him in this game. We've got Cole Palmer. I personally like him as a cam. I think he most definitely is going to have that sort of vision in the future. I don't like him that much as a right mid. I think he's definitely more warranted in the middle. Normally you kind of find with Palmer, his dribbling is definitely on the higher end. The pace is there. He can play cam as well. But then he's also got the technical, the finesse, which is great in my cam. But then he does have the flair, which is just a little bit more unfortunate. He does have the ability to go to a 95 with the Team of the Season upgrade, but I personally didn't bother with that one, as I didn't manage to get him in a pack. So when it comes to a cam, I'd put him in the S, but we are waiting for that big upgrade for him. We then move into a few of the others. I think Bruno would definitely go in the same category. He's kind of that trickier cam. I'd say he's just a little bit under De Bruyne. He didn't manage to get his full upgrade, which is a bit unfortunate, but we kind of move with that. Dybala, honestly, you could argue between the positions. I think as a striker, I'd still put him in the S, but I must admit, as a cam centre forward, he definitely stays in that S as well. He is a brilliant, brilliant card. I'm just debating, could I go with that S+, because he is a 5-5. I'm trying not to put too many people in that S+, because even though the cards are definitely warranted, it's just a hard decision when you've got so many cards up there that you'd assume that there's not that many cards that everybody uses. But to be fair, whenever I play champs or qualies or rivals, the teams are so spread. It's not like everybody has the same attack. Normally it's now red picks, so it just is what it is. More than likely you see a lot of the same defense, but realistically the attack is always changed depending on pack luck. Now in terms of Muller, people are arguing with him, and personally for me, if you've been with Muller for the past, he's been in this game for it's been since FIFA 10, surely. Where's the generation? I'm pretty sure he's been here since FIFA, oh, fantastic. FIFA 10, I'm guaranteeing that he's been here since then. Okay, so they've basically not gone back any further, but he's definitely been here since then. His body type is just so off. It just doesn't work. You can give him whatever stats you want. I just don't think he's going to be that good. He's obviously got himself the tall and lean build. Some people can make it work, but for me, I just don't think Muller will be that good. Even with the upgrade, maybe worth the shout, but I just don't think he is a good player in this game. We saw the same with so many players alike. You can give him the 99, and it just doesn't make him into that top end. And there could be arguments that maybe if he gets the 95, he could go in the S, but I really don't like the card in himself. Minyan's kind of the same as well. He's kind of just that cheap fodder now. We've got a few of the still definitely up there beasts. I think Firmino and Cherokee definitely have that cam roll down to an absolute T. Surprisingly, Isco much better than anticipated. I really thought he'd be kind of a throwaway card. And to be fair, he's kept himself at the 200k value. I really don't think that's bad whatsoever for what Isco normally is in terms of a card. I know the generation's going to be, to FIFA 22. You kind of get that one card with him. The footies last year, the flashback the year before, and I'm pretty sure he's had multiple team of the season since then. You normally get one decent card with him, and he's kind of normally that very moderate cam. Like, he's nothing too special, but this year, they've definitely gone a bit all out with him. You can go with the Hunter and really make him into something. 97 pace, 97 shooting, mixed in with the passing already up there, and the dribbling. The arguments you would go for maybe a bit more agility. I think people would argue the engine, which is a fair enough debate for him. But if we go with the engine, you go in 91, 99. So in terms of a cam sense, that most definitely works really well. So I personally think he puts himself as a lower end S now, especially with the upgrades we've had. But he's definitely up there. Then we've got a few more. Szoboszlai, I thought was decent with the Prem. Now kind of a bit over it, to be honest. Martin Odegaard would easily go in the S. Great SBC. I think if you did Havertz, then Odegaard definitely was the next one that you needed to do. Santos, great super sub, definitely missing out a little bit now when we look at the cams that we've got from the very first live. Incredible. The value's phenomenal. How much rating she was going to get was brilliant. But now I think when we look at the cams, there's so many options that you can go for. We then also have Mickey. Normally has a pretty decent card to him, to be fair. He's kind of one of them ones that has just filtered in and out of having a nice card and then just going quiet for a year. He's was 118k. It's a standard card. He's a 5-5, which is always nice, but there isn't anything like too impressive there other than maybe the agility balance, which was nice. We also have Loftus-Cheek. Personally, for me, he was kind of a really good box-to-box. We managed to do his version of the live upgrade, so we've got him at 94. Was kind of hoping he might have got to 95, but unfortunately, they definitely struck out there. Di Maria, another easy option. I absolutely thought he was brilliant, and to be honest, I haven't looked at his price since he was about 90,000. I don't know if he's dropped any more. 67,000. Fantastic card for what he can actually do. He's got the team of the season plus. He can play wing, he can play striker, and he definitely can play cam. He's a multi-purpose position player, and he absolutely rocks it. And then we also have, is it Dabina, I want to say, or I think I'd say it's Debra, but you got Dabina on the card. Another one kind of like Santos, has that ability. The dribbling is phenomenal, like very, very good dribbling. It is the fact that she was in the ultimate team of the season, which kind of killed her price off. But I do think when you look at her, for a super sub, I would definitely go a bit more than Santos, unfortunately, for her. But she definitely puts herself in that lower category of an S, personally. And that is going to be my list. Let me know down below what you think. If there's anybody that should be up and down, go down below and leave the comments. Who do you prefer? Is your cam player that's in the A tier, or are they in the S plus tier?